You may not believe this, but these are some of the scenes that are coming out of the UK right now.
Missiles thrown at police cars and buildings on fire. Ugly scenes in Sunderland last night. But what will this evening bring?
This was mostly non-violent, unlike Sunderland last night, where people were out to cause trouble. Faces hidden, intent clear. Bricks thrown at riot police outside a mosque. Cars and buildings burned. Officers attacked. Scenes worryingly familiar from recent nights.
So if you're anything like me, you probably were watching this thinking, what the hell is going on? So let me break down the facts and go through my opinion. So on the 29th of July, 3 young girls were stabbed and killed by a 17-year-old boy whilst attending a Taylor Swift themed dance workshop in Southport. A further 8 kids were stabbed in the process and 2 adults were attacked as well. And this doesn't account for everyone else who was within the vicinity who was traumatized within that process. This boy, or more correctly, this killer, in fact, was arrested following the attack, but given that he was under the age of 18, his name was not revealed. This is super normal unless a judge rules otherwise. All suspects under the age of 18 are given anonymity. This event sparked nationwide outrage, understandably, but it seemed to reach its boiling point when misinformation was spread about this killer. A lot of news accounts on social media falsely named the suspect, and public figures such as Andrew Tate and Tommy Robinson ended up spreading a bunch of misinformation saying that the suspect was a Muslim, that he was an immigrant or a migrant that was fresh off of a boat, that he was on the MI6 watch list for terrorism, none of which were true. Let's take a look at one of the Andrew Tate videos on X.
So an undocumented migrant decided to go into a Taylor Swift dance class today and stab 6 little girls. That's right, somebody arrived in the UK on a boat. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knows where he's from. The media is, of course, hiding the fact that this is a 17-year-old male. They don't want to highlight how ridiculous it is that we allow military-aged males, combatants, to flood our shores. I don't see any protests in the UK. I don't see anybody complaining. Nobody's outside of the school. Nobody's outside the police station. The soul of the Western man is so broken that when the invaders slaughter your daughters, you do absolutely fucking nothing.
Off the back of this, anti-Muslim riots took place where British citizens went out to mosques, to hotels where asylum seekers were being held, and to foreign local businesses, and went to attack and burn down these establishments and the people inside of them. I believe that events like this have taken part in over 16 towns and cities across the UK up until this point. And because of this, the identity of the killer has been revealed, even though he's still 17 years old. The judge made a justification that his birthday is just in the week and he's going to be 18 anyway. And it turns out that his name is Axel Ruda Kubana, and he's actually a non-Muslim Welsh citizen, and the motive still remains unclear. He's now been charged with 3 counts of murder, 10 counts of attempted murder, and possession of a bladed article. It seems as if as of August 15th, things have calmed down a little bit. However, I've seen a bunch of these lists going across TikTok revealing where these protests and these riots are going to take place. So let's see how things continue, but we're hoping for the best. So there is a lot to unpack here. So let's go through some of the key talking points. The first is that the UK has some very big problems on their hands. The fact that this crime was able to take place is absolutely inexplicable. I can't even begin to comprehend how the families of these girls must be feeling right now, and the victims who are still alive, and the absolute horror show that they have gone through. If I was a parent in the UK right now, I would be absolutely horrified that this could happen in my town or my street. I feel that there's enough that parents have to fear with all the things that could happen to their children in this world, but letting their daughters go to a Taylor Swift dance workshop should not be something that they have to think twice about. It is scary. It is a horrifying situation, and how the UK responds to this is absolutely vital. How are they going to protect children moving forward? How are they going to allow the parents to feel safe enough to let their children go play out in the street or go to these clubs and workshops? These questions need to be answered. The UK leadership needs to step up and needs to give good enough answers and solutions. In the meantime, my heart truly goes out to all the families and the victims who have gone through this absolute nightmare of a situation. I kind of begin to comprehend how they must be feeling, so I'm sending my very, very best. The second talking point is that these riots are unacceptable. I guarantee that an enormous percentage of the people who are rioting in the streets were not doing it for the justice of these girls. A lot of these people are criminals, they're opportune racists who are taking advantage of this terrible situation. I cannot begin to tell you how tired I am as a British citizen to hear these idiots talking about, we don't want foreigners in our countries, the foreigners are stealing our jobs, we want our country back. I get it, the way that the UK is handling immigration right now is just simply not sustainable. The fact that the net amount of people that came into the country last year was 685,000, and the year prior to that it was over 750,000. It doesn't take a genius to work out that over a long enough time period, this is just not going to work. And this is where UK leadership need to step up and take action. However, I'm not seeing people protest about the concerns that immigration is genuinely going to have. I see a lot of stupidity, I see a lot of racism, I see a lot of criminals taking to the street and just taking advantage of a really, really bad situation. The UK does need to do better. However, one of the beautiful parts of this country is that it is a melting pot of different people, different nationality, different races. However, you have this ridiculous narrative going on in the background and the stupidity of people. Please take a look at this.
I'm actually here to fight for this country. You know, these people, they're coming over, they're taking all of our jobs. Let's say I wanted to be a doctor. I couldn't be, could I?
Well, have you got a medical degree?
No. No, I didn't finish school, did I? No.
So hold a minute, Dave. Yeah. You've not got the chance to be a doctor because they're taking your jobs, even though you've not got a medical degree.
That's right. I don't stand a chance, do I?
But you didn't finish school.
No, but it's the principle of it. Let's say I wanted to be a doctor. I can't, can I?
You can't. Okay, so hold a minute, Dave. Yeah. So when did you finish school, Dave?
9th grade.
So what? Year 9.
Year 9, yeah.
So you're complaining that
I got chucked. I left. But
so hold a minute, Dave. You're complaining you can't become a doctor, but you didn't even finish year 9.
No, that's right. But it doesn't matter, it's the principle of it.
Unfortunately, people like Dave are one of the big reasons why I dislike the UK. He is not alone with this ridiculous narrative, but look at his understanding of the situation. He believes that the foreigners are coming in and stealing a potential job for him when he didn't finish school. He dropped out at year 9. How old was I in year 9? I must be like, 13 years old? And Dave over here is really upset about the person who went and did their studies all the way up into their 20s and worked incredibly hard to get that qualification because of the principle. Now let's look at another one of our amazing patriots.
Some foreigners that are coming over and taking our jobs, yeah, and not even working. And they're working.
They take our jobs if they're not working.
Because they do it. They do it. Simple as that.
Please help me. They come over, they take our jobs, but they don't even work. They come over, they take our jobs, but they don't even work. Oy, ay, 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 ay. And finally, please tell me, does this look like justice for these girls? You have the right to protest, to get angry, to complain, to fight against what you don't believe is right. But this is not it. You do not represent us as British citizens. We are better than that. And I am very concerned about the males in the UK. Not only do we have a 17-year-old killer, we also have a ratio of 20 males to 1 female in that video, I would say, who are out there rioting and at the forefront being super proud of themselves, smiling. It does not make sense to me. The next thing we need to talk about is misinformation. Misinformation is a real problem, but free speech isn't. Do I think misinformation was the cause of these riots? Partly yes and partly no. My reasons for yes is that prior to this misinformation being spread, it looked to be fairly calm and that nothing was going to kick off. But following the information that this was an undocumented Muslim migrant who was fresh off of a boat, then obviously things started going wild. But really, I think this was the lighter that was just dropped into a room covered in petrol. We have to look at both sides of the coin here. Firstly, if we are a public figure with an enormous social media following and an audience that's impressionable, we need to do better. We need to be aware of the impact of the words that we say and the posts that we put up on our platforms. And until we have all of the facts, we need to be really careful about what we put out there. Andrew Tate posting a video about him being angry and annoyed about the situation isn't the problem. The problem isn't free speech. He's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to use his voice, and he's entitled to have conversations about situations that are going on in the world. This is important. But by posting false information, pushing propaganda, this is where him, Nigel Farage, Tommy Robinson all truly messed up. But on the other hand, we have to ask the question, why is the floor covered in petrol in the first place? And this is the bigger issue at hand here. How much of a knife edge must the UK be on if some misinformation that spread causes this? With deepfake videos and AI getting better and better, it's likely that across the next decade, we're going to see even more misinformation being spread. So how on earth are we going to navigate this as a country if at a click of the fingers, the country is ready to riot? The government really needs to look at why the citizens of their country are so angry. Immigration is one of them. The cost of living is another. The safety of their children is another. The way that the country is using their money to send it to other countries is another. And I'm sure that there are many more. So this is what the UK leadership needs to be looking at if they want a more civilized nation. The killing of these girls is absolutely unacceptable and horrific. The riots and racism in response to this is also absolutely unacceptable. And the fact that we've gotten here as a nation based on these systemic issues is unacceptable. The UK and the people in charge have a lot of work to do. If you're in the UK, a British citizen, or you're speculating from the outside, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and you can be one of the special ones who can say, I was here first. Comment your thoughts down below, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.